रहीम अजीज दोस्तों, आज मैं फिर चौधरी अकबर साहब से थ्रू स्काइप मुखातिब हूँ। आज 26 तारीख है अक्टूबर की और सन 2012। आज ईद कुर्बान का दिन भी है, जो कि बेवक्त वक्त अमेरिका, कनाडा, बरतानिया और सऊदी अरेबिया में मनाई जा रही है। चौधरी साहब, मैं आपको स्काइप पे वेलकम करता हूं और आपसे आज मैं जो बात करूंगा वो खत्म नबूवत के हवाले से आपसे मेरी बात होगी।
वालेकुम सलाम जनाब, और ईद मुबारक, खैर मुबारक।
जी बहुत शुक्रिया चौधरी साहब। चौधरी साहब, देयर आर फ्यू कंसर्न्स regarding Khatm Nubuwwah. Now, Khatm Nubuwwah is the concept and Khatm Nubuwwah is the group. So there are two things. One is the concept and one is the group of the people. Now, Khatm Nubuwwah itself has been divided into many groups. Now, my first question to you, that can you please define Khatm Nubuwwah group which was formed in the time of, like before the partition of Indo-Pak, 1947, and even the time of Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani, who was the founder of Ahmadiyya religion, by the Maulvi Sanaullah, after that Ataullah Shah Bukhari, etc. Is that still we are seeing the same Khatm Nubuwwat, or today is a Khatm Nubuwwat is different than that?
So, going back in time, there was no movement by the name of Khatm Nubuwwat in the early years. There were individual efforts by Muhammad Hussain Batalvi, Sanaullah Amritsari to counter the propaganda of the Qadiani group. However, in the 1930s, there was a group, there was a movement by the name of Ahrar,
Right.
which continued into post-partition into Pakistan. And in 1953, it came known as the Tehreek-e-Khatm Nubuwwat. So the first time we see the name associated with such a movement is in 1953. Now, or 1952. Now, this again became another movement in the early 1970s, which led to the 1974 parliamentary hearings. So
Right.
this is the history of that. Now, the parliamentary hearings in 1974 was very definitive. It was exhaustive, as we have discussed in the last video, and we will continue to discuss in subsequent videos. That it was a very definitive ruling, and based on that, there was no subsequent reason for this movement to be as active as it has been. But since then, it has taken on new forms, and just to be clear, the name Khatm Nubuwwat is that concept that Islam is defined by the Holy Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And anybody who claims to be a prophet after that starts his own religion, starts his own way of doing things. So that is the concept. In the last 10-15 years, this has taken on certain aspects, the certain groups that call themselves Khatm Nubuwwah. So this is the biggest misunderstanding, that when I talk to the newspapers here, they have this misunderstanding that this is some kind of international organization which has chapters in different countries. That's not true. There is no such umbrella organization that is properly organized. But people use this name because it makes them money. They can attract a lot of support. They can attract a lot of attention by this name. Therefore, they use this name.
So, Joyce, I'm sorry to interrupt you. What are you saying that what I asked you, that does that Khatm Nubuwwat group or organization exist today, which was started by those, the pioneers, Maulvi Muhammad Hussain Batalvi, Sanaullah, and Ataullah Shah Bukhari Saab, etc.?
Yeah, so those, they did not start the Khatm Nubuwwat movement.
Whatever the movement they started after that, they adopted the name.
Yeah, what has happened today is, as in all different aspects of Islam, extremists of different stripes have infiltrated the ranks almost all Islamic organizations. And because they are extremists and prone to violence, they sometimes take over or intimidate people in this organization or similar organizations. For example, we know Baba Sahib here of Khatm and Nubuwwah Academy in London, who are doing excellent work. We know of a couple of
Khalid Madeen and Wali Allah Vasai in Pakistan.
these are the
Those
type
people.
of people who existed before. And these are the type of people who are very gentle, very humble, and they actually are doing, spreading the information and answering inquiries and helping the people to leave the Ahmadiyya or to become part of mainstream Islam, or when the Ahmadiyya do their propaganda, they answer to them, they reply to them, and they inform the local mosques and so on.
But they are also working, sorry, Charles, they are also working under the umbrella of Khatm and Nubuwwah. Is that right?
There is no umbrella. There is a name that is used by different organizations. There is no one umbrella organization. And
So, in other words, what you're saying that that movement which was started by those pioneers today does not exist. Now the people are individually they are using
yes,
this name.
each group is using the name to make money, to intimidate people. If you look at Pakistan, the Khatm and Nubuwwah movements there have got into many different areas. They have gone into anti-Shia. They've gone into intimidating for many different purposes. They extort money, they blackmail people, and so on.
So when you say intimidate people, sorry to interrupt you, to individuals are like people you mean the Ahmadiyya group or to the Shia, are the individuals who are working on a social media are to those like who they are intimidating?
So I will give you an example. Maulana Allah Vasaya, who is one of the stalwarts of the actual intellectual foundation of Khatm Nubuwwat concept, who has worked very hard for it. Recently, he was intimidated by people who call themselves Khatm Nubuwwat, although they are not even 1/100th the caliber of Maulana Allah Vasaya. And these are the people who intimidated him not to mention Shia as Muslim on the stage. And when Maulana Allah Vasaya said that he had himself been with Shia scholars before, the answer was to intimidate him until he would apologize. So as I said, this has been hijacked by people who don't know the concept, who don't know the goals, and who don't know what sacrifices their forefathers or scholars of the past have given for this cause. If you read the assembly, the 1974 assembly proceedings, you can see how ulama talked and behaved in that day. And you see these people now who are influenced by extremists.
So what you are referred me that the incident about the Maulana Allah Vasaya. Now you are giving me the impression that today the Ahmadis who have a fear, who think that they will be persecuted even in UK today as they've been persecuted in Pakistan as well by the Khatm and Nubuwwat. So there are the elements here in UK. You have certain people who are such extreme and violent, and the Ahmadiyya concern is a genuine.
This is a very fine line, and each time the media interviews me, like the Guardian newspaper interviewed me in October, and many other media organizations have interviewed me regarding this matter. It's a very fine line. The Ahmadiyya tend to blow out of proportion anything. If somebody sends an SMS to somebody, they blow it out of proportion. So what they do with that small piece of information or insignificant piece of information is a problem. They just go to the media. They run to the media before they go to the police or before they file a complaint against someone.
Do you think they have no right to go there?
They should, if they are genuinely concerned, they should go before the authorities first before they run to the media, number one. Number two, there is an undercurrent of extremism in the United States, violent extremism. Those extremists are not related to the couple of people who are doing genuine work. But those extremists have infiltrated parts of this movement. And I will tell you, in Birmingham, for example, where this extremist element is strongest, there are 6 Khatm and Nubuwwah centers which are independent of each other and who have never ever done any information service or any other kind of service to the cause. They are just making money because once you put the sign Khatm Nubuwwat on the door, people start giving you money. So there are 6 of them, 6 independent
In Birmingham.
ones. Eh?
In Birmingham.
In on one city alone.
Alone.
Yeah.
Now what about those one who are sitting in the London, in the heart of the city, and they're working on the social media? They are threatening to the people, to individuals, and to the other groups like Ahmadiyyas. They are threatening, they are abusing, they are using slanders and all these kind of things. What would you say about them? Are they not the violent? Should the Ahmadis and the individuals should not have a concern about them?
So I would pity them in the sense that they have been brainwashed by those same extremist elements. The problem here is where I would agree with the Ahmadiyya to some degree is that if these extremists are not controlled, if these extremist elements within the Khatm Nubuwwat movement are not controlled, they are the same people who scream Wajibul Qatl, kill him, kill that person, kill Shia, kill everybody, you know. They want to kill me, they want to kill you, you know. They want to kill everybody in this world. So this is a general violence problem. So the way I draw the line is, I say there is a problem of violence in the mainstream Islamic community. There is a problem of firebrand imams who go and say things that they should not be saying. They should not be saying in any country. But for the Ahmadiyya to use these individuals as an excuse to malign the whole people who are doing hard work, countering their propaganda, countering the Ahmadiyya propaganda here, that's not fair as well. So it is a very fine line.
Oh, so if I understand you correctly, you are saying that under the name of the Khatm Nubuwwat, there are the elements who are the violent, who have the policy to intimidate, who have the policy to create a certain circumstances and do certain activities which are threatened to Ahmadis and to the individuals who are working. But at the same time, that with the Khatm Nubuwwat name, a people, as you mentioned to that one, Baba Saab, Khalid Mateen Saab, Allah Vasaya Saab, they are the one who are working academically and they are genuinely working. But it is hard to find out that who is the genuine and who is the non-genuine. But Ahmadiyya concern and the individual person who are working on the social media, they have a genuine concern because they've been threatened. The violent people who are using the Khatm Nubuwwat name, they slanders to those, they are abusing them. So they have the genuine concern about this.
So what they should do is they should go to the authorities. They should go to the police. They should not run to the media. So this extremist people who don't want to talk and just want to abuse or threaten violence.
Why do you have objection if they run to the media? Why you have a concern about this one, Choy Saab? Look, I can see the interview with The Guardian, which is a very famous newspaper of that one, and where you said and you admitted over there that, if I will quote your words, some of our UK's imams are firebrands, but they doesn't have anything to do with the academy, right?
Yep.
You accept this one, that there are some of the imams are there. So if the Ahmadiyya or any individual will go to the media, what objection you have with that?
So the concern is that what they do is they malign all Muslims, number one, and they single out Khatm Nubuwwat Academy.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So
okay.
Yeah. So the Muslims of the UK do not have any problem. The vast majority, 99.9%, have no problem with extremism. You know.
Of
And
course.
the academy itself is the one that I am affiliated with, or have been affiliated with, is made up of individuals who pursue that intellectual work. So they use those extremist threats to not to counter the extremists, but to counter the good people.
I see.
So yeah, so this is the problem
They're
I have with them.
generalizing this thing, they're generalizing that all are the same
Yeah.
instead of pointing out that these are the elements who are threatening or who are the one we want to blame them.
They know
They have
very
not the
well.
courage.
They know very well. They know very well. There was a jalsa in Birmingham where some bad things were said. There were some TV channels that got banned because of the vocabulary they used against the Ahmadiyya, very violent and very extremist influenced. So yes, they know where the source of the problem is. My problem only happens when they generalize to all Muslims in the UK, and when they single out the good people who are working in this cause, you know. And the good people who are working in this cause are also intimidated by the Birmingham gang or by those extremists.
What would you say, Choisa? For example, I have no doubt about this one, like some of the so-called TV anchors and TV hosts of certain channels. I will not mention the name of those channels, but those are the so-called hosts. Might be they are the pro-Ahmadis, or they are the agent. They are working for them. They have their own vested interests. They are like been paid on the payroll of Ahmadis, and they are issuing a statement against the Ahmadis.
Yeah.
And it's a double-edged sword they are working for that.
So I will come to this point now. You have done a wonderful job in exposing the cult-like characteristics of the Ahmadiyya. And the Ahmadiyya at this time, the Qadiani Ahmadiyya, are intellectually bankrupt. We all know that.
Right.
There is no fight left. There is just families and their families and their families and their children and so on, you know.
Right.
Historically, both sides, the Ahmadiyya and these extremist Khatm and Nubuwwah organization, had a symbiotic relationship. They depend on each other. So as you yourself know, sometimes they give money in Pakistan to the Khatm and Nubuwwah person to go register a case against them, or come and hit their house with a brick so they can go and file a case against them. There are many examples of that, and they're all recorded, you know. So because these extremist elements, they do not want the Ahmadiyya to back down. They do not want them to not do their propaganda. That's how they make money. This is their business. They are actually, it is a business. So for the Ahmadiyya to give money to certain Khatm and Nubuwwah people is not beyond imagination. They have done that, and you yourself
Okay,
are part of.
Choisa, we will continue this one due to the shortage of the time. We will stop over here and we will come back after a few minutes. We will continue this topic. Thank you so much, and we will come back.
Okay.